Nobody wants to go to war. And paghawakan natin sinabi ni President Bongbong, I cannot remember now how many months ago, na sinabi niya the EDCA sites will never be used by any power for any offensive purposes. Panghawakan natin yun. Kalkalin mo yun, Eric, dahil sinabi niya talaga yun.
Yeah, agree.
So panghawakan natin yun, kapag hindi nagkaroon ng change of mindset from ownership to stewardship, we will really go to war. Magsasalpukan talaga yan. Diba natandaan mo noong 1988, yung Vietnam ay nagtanim ng kanilang flag dun sa isang pinag-aawayan nila sa Spratly.
Correct.
Pinunot ng China, Vietnam. Ano nangyari? 100 Vietnamese namatay. Kung natin, yan ang maging kahinatnan natin? No. Let us be smart, intelligent about it. Hindi po pwedeng, Eric, magkakamot-kamot na naman tayo ng ulo natin, sabihin na natin, natalo tayo. Katangahan na natin pag sinabi mong natalo ka.
Tama.
Bakit hindi ka nakipag-discuss yan at ba't hindi mo binasa yung fine print, di ba? So, wag na tayong umarte-arte ng ganyan. Let's be smart, intelligent about any contract that we sign with any country for that matter. No?
Makakasama na natin, mapalad po tayo at nagagalak na pinaunlakan tayo ng dating National Security Advisor at respetado po sa mundo ng mga academe. Isa po sa kinikilalang scholar ng ating bansa, ng ating bayan sa modernong panahon ngayon. At mapalad tayo na pinagbigyan tayo ni Professor Clarita Carlos, former National Security Advisor ng Pangulong Marcos Jr. Ma'am, Professor Carlos, good morning. Welcome sa Pilipinas nating mahal. Hello po, ma'am. Oh, we're trying to reconnect kay Professor Carlos. We understand that she's on travel, pero nagpa-unlock siya na makapanayam sa Pilipinas nating mahal. Let's try again. Professor Carlos, ma'am, welcome and good morning sa Pilipinas nating mahal.
Yeah, pinig ako.
Hello, ma'am. Naririnig po ba ninyo ako? Si Ka Eric, ma'am. Good morning po. Mukhang nawawala yung signal ni Professor Carlos. Let's try to reconnect, no? Kasi ang pagkakaalam natin, mga kababayan, naka-on travel po si Ma'am Carlos. Pero maganda po at nagpa-unlock siya. Mahalaga po itong pananaw na makukuha natin kay Professor Carlos. Una, isa po siya sa naging unang National Security Advisor. Ma'am, let's try again. Good morning, Ma'am Professor Carlos, ma'am. Disconnect tayo ulit. Sige lang. We will try, no? Una, si Professor Carlos po ay isa sa mga naglinaw ng usapin tungkol sa ugnayang panglabas o foreign relations at tungkol po sa international policy on interregional relation of the Philippines dito po sa area ng Asia-Pacific at Indochina at sa Asia-Pacific mismo at sa Southeast Asia. Nilinaw niya, mahalaga po sa isang Pangulo ng Bansa nung debate series ng SMNI kung saan dinaluhan po ito ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. when he was still candidate Marcos for President. At natalakay doon ni Professor Carlos ang kahalagaan ng dialogo at mga interregional, multilateral, and mga bilateral parallel talks ng mga gobyerno na may nai-involve sila sa mga usapin sa maritime dispute, exclusive economic zone disputes, including po sa mga konsepto ng kondukta sa maritime area ng tinatawag nating South China Sea na napakalawak po ito. In fact, there are around 7 country claimants, no? That includes China, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, I think kasama dyan. At ito po ang mga bansa ay may mga kani-kanilang mga pangloob at mga pansariling national interest na isinusulong sa area na ito. Pero lilinawin po natin, pag sinabi nating South China Sea at West Philippine Sea, hindi po ibig sabihin yan ay actual direct territory ng Pilipinas. Kapag sinabi po nating Zambales, Batanes, Cagayan Valley, Palawan, yan po ay actual direct territory. Sakop po ng direktang teritoryo ng bansang Pilipinas. Ito naman ay ang area na pinagtatalunan o nagkakaroon ng escalating tension sa maritime dispute ay exclusive economic zone claim lang tayo. Pag exclusive economic zone, wala tayong authority of sovereignty. Mayroon lang tayong sovereign rights for exploration, for exploitation of natural resources, fishing rights, at maritime rights, at iba pang mga nakaakibat sa patakarang pangdaigdigan tungkol po sa exclusive economic zone ng isang bansa. Hindi po natin yan pwede i-exercise ang ating territorial authority at ang ating sovereign authority sa mga lugar na mayroon tayong dispute. Ayan. Kukuhanan po natin ng pananaw at mahalagang opinion si Professor Clarita Carlos. Ma'am, welcome po sa Pilipinas nating mahal. Si Ka Eric po ito. Good morning to you.
Kelly?
Ma'am, naririnig po ba ninyo ako sa ating, ang boses ko po nakakapasok na?
Oo, naririnig kita. Naririnig mo ako?
Ay, nandyan na ma'am. Okay na po ma'am, may line na tayo. Ma'am, magandang umaga sa inyo at pasensya na naabala po namin ang inyong schedule for today, but nonetheless, we're very happy to have you today sa Pilipinas Nating Mahal. Pagbati po ninyo ma'am sa mga mamamayang Pilipino na nakikinig sa programang Pilipinas Nating Mahal. Go ahead po, Ma'am Carlos.
Good morning sa mga lahat ng nakikinig sa inyo. Sana ang malayang talakayan na to ay magbigay ng informasyon at magliwanag sa isip ng marami na nangangamba ng hindi magandang mangyayari sa ating bansa. Good morning sa iyo, Eric, at sa iyong mga tagapakinig.
Maraming salamat ma'am, and we're very happy sa Pilipinas Nating Mahal at pati na po sa mga kaibigan natin sa SMNI that you are back para magbigay ng kuro-kuro at talakayang pangbayan. Ma'am, una sa lahat, ano po ang pagtingin ninyo sa hindi po madi-deny, undeniable, escalating tension in the maritime dispute situation involving China in the Philippines in the area of South China Sea, or what we call on our part West Philippine Sea, at gaano po kahalaga na tingnan ito ng maayos at ng balanse o objektibong pananaw, hindi po ng dahil lamang sa damdamin at mga bugso ng emosyon. Bilang former National Security Advisor ng Pangulo ng Bansa, how do you look at the current situation we are facing right now with China involving that kind of issue? Go ahead po, Professor Carlos.
Yeah, hindi na ito nag-iba dun sa aking posisyon nung ako'y National Security Advisor. Kasi paulit-ulit kong binibigay sa memo ko sa kay President Bongbong na yung issue ng territory and sovereignty ay talagang mahirap talagang masolbar yan. It cannot be resolved because no one should really lay claim on the seas. No, hindi po pwedeng meron dumadapa dyan at i-claim nila yung buong karagatan. O anin tayo nag-aagawan dyan. Ang dapat siguro i-set aside natin itong hindi natin pinagkakaunawaan, tinatawag natin high politics issues, at magpunta tayo dun sa low politics, LOW, politics issues, ang issue ng energy, issue ng food security, at ang issue ng environmental protection. So pag nag-shift ka ng ganyan, Eric, dun sa tinatawag na low politics area, mas marami tayong dapat pag-usapan. Kasi I remember na-meet ko yung foreign minister nila si Wang Yi, at nagkaisa ang aming damdamin na dapat ito talaga ang ating pag-usapan, yung low politics issue na meron tayong common concern. Opo. At iset aside na natin yung territory and sovereignty dahil talagang ang karagatan ay hindi dapat niyan hinahati-hati. Kasi yung mga isda nga nasisira na yung ulo nila kasi hindi nila alam kung saan sila lulugar.
Tama.
Oo.
Ma'am, napakaganda ng sinabi ninyo, Professor Carlos, that we should focus to low politics issue which concerns directly the economy, kabuhayan, livelihood, and productivity and enhancement of social well-being ng mga tao both sa China, sa Pilipinas, at sa mga neighboring countries rather than escalate the military side aspect ng ating hindi pagkakasundo sa maritime area na ito na sabi mo nga, it cannot be claimed as an exclusive territory ng ninumang bansa that includes China and even our country. Ma'am, how important is that for the perspective or change of views ng mga namamahala ng ating foreign relations, including starting with the President?
Napaka-importante nito at mabuti na binanggit mo yung change of view or change of mindset kasi yung ownership ay dapat maging stewardship. Nobody can own anything, This is the heritage of mankind and we should just be protecting it for future generations. So sino naman ng mga bansa na yan na datapaan mo lahat ng karagatan na yan at aangkinin mo na iyo. Angkin kasi is ownership Let's move away from the concept of ownership at magpunta tayo sa konsepto ng stewardship. Stewardship means taking care of the environment, the sea resources, the seabed resources for this generation and future generations. This is what it means, Kasi nakita mo naman, isang planeta lang tayo, One planet, and therefore, ang enemy talaga is climate change.
Correct.
There is no enemy. The enemy is climate change kasi yan ang talagang kailangan nating bunuin, and we need a collective undertaking to really confront the consequences of climate change,
Correct.
We have no business fragmenting our solutions to this because the real necessity is really collective action of everyone.
Yeah.
Of everyone.
Ma'am, maganda yung binanggit mo. Asserting stewardship and partnership rather than provoking dominion of ownership. Maganda po yung bananggit ninyo na yan sapagkat yan ay nakaangkla sa linya ng diplomasya while ang ownership or asserting dominion of ownership sa isang lugar na hindi naman pwedeng pagmamayarian ng eksklusibo ng isang bansa like ngayon ang maritime area nito sa West Philippines or South China Sea, nagkakaroon ng military escalation, na military approach ang nagaganap lalo na sa pagitan ng China at ng Pilipinas. Do you agree na doon na tayo pumunta at naiiwan ang diplomasya that will be more beneficial, more reasonable, and more makatarungan para sa bansa at sa mamamayan ng lahat ng bansang concerned? How do you look at that?
Nobody wants to go to war. I
Yes.
think China wants to sell to the world. We also want to sell our pineapples, mangoes, etc. Nobody wants to go to war. And paghawakan natin sinabi ni President Bongbong, I cannot remember now how many months ago, na sinabi niya the EDCA sites will never be used by any power for any offensive purposes. Panghawakan natin yun. Kalkalin mo yun, Eric, dahil sinabi niya talaga yun.
Yeah, agree.
So, panghawakan natin yun. At I am sure the President will also stick to that position that he has articulated many months back.
Yes. How important itong ganyang change of mindset, redirecting the effort and focus ng gobyerno doon sa more productive, more engaging through diplomatic and joint bilateral, multilateral, interregional interaction rather than posturing for a war and escalating the tension. Gaano kahalaga po yan, ma'am, sa communicators of the government ng current president natin doon sa sinabi ninyo na tama po kayo, naalala ko yan, that was I think September 2023, ni-reiterate niya yan at the anniversary of US bases termination that EDCA sites will not be used for purposes that will enhance military aggression ng Pilipinas, involvement niya sa China and US dispute. Go ahead po, Ma'am Clarita. How important is that communication line na dapat mangibabaw sa gitna po ng iba't ibang mga linya ng mga pananaw na bumabaha sa media at sa social media?
It's not only important, Eric, it is fundamental.
Yes.
Fundamental, ibig sabihin, yan ang base, yan ang foundation. Kapag hindi nagkaroon ng change of mindset from ownership to stewardship, we will really go to war. Magsasalpukan talaga yan. Diba, natandaan mo noong 1988, yung Vietnam ay nagtanim ng kanilang flag dun sa isang pinag-aawayan nila sa Spratly.
Correct.
Binunot ng China, tinanim yung flag ng China, binunot ng Vietnam, tinanim muli ng flag ng Vietnam. Ano nangyari? 100 Vietnamese namatay.
Correct.
Gusto ba natin yan ang maging kahinatnan natin? No. No life should be wasted in the altar of wanting to own certain parts of the sea. As we said, there is only one ocean, there is only one ecology. There is fundamental errors eh. Yung change of mindset, there is only one ocean and there is only one ecology. And therefore, it's not the diplomats, it's not the politicians who will solve the issue, it is really the marine scientists. It is really the scientists, it is us, political scientists, who will exchange views with political scientists of China, Vietnam, and the other claimant countries, which will really provide the resolution to the conflict.
Correct.
Yung diplomats and politicians, yan na lang po kayo sa margins, no? Kami pong mga yung mga scientists po, ang magre-resolve po ng issue na yan. At ang tawag po niyan ay low politics of functionalism. Functionalism simply means that there will be layers and layers of cooperation of non-political actors. And the academe is a non-political actor.
Agree. Napakaganda ng tinuran po ninyo, Professor Carlos. At kung kaya dahil dyan, ay magtatanong po kami sa inyo, ma'am. When candidate Marcos Jr. was still a presidential candidate in the debate sponsored by SMNI sila Pastor doon sa probe, you were instrumental in giving the president a shining moment to explain how he is going to approach itong delicate and sensitive issue regarding sa relasyon ng China at Pilipinas. At sinabi mo doon sa pagtatanong mo sa kanya, yung in-explain mo yung multipolar world, in-explain mo yung pagkakaroon ng iba't ibang alignment and alyansa sa ekonomiya and even sa geopolitical situation. Ang lahat ng ito, ma'am, na-observe ng mga taong bayan that you were guiding him correctly on the path of diplomacy, bilateral talks, not as a politician, but as a facilitator leader of the country, which you are talking right now. Yun ang role ng isang ng isang pinuno na hindi nagugumon sa politika. Why all of a sudden, ma'am, napunta tayo sa escalation and military approach at napag-iwanan po ang aspeto ng diplomasya at ang aspeto ng involvement ng mga political and marine scientists who are not political animals, so to speak, rather than napupunta tayo dun sa mga ang nag-iingay mga military at mga hindi naman mga diplomats ng bansa natin. Ma'am, go ahead po.
Bago ako nag-resign noong middle of January of 2023, isa sa mga memos ko sa President really would be delving on this issue. And what I have noted is that really that, the move of the president, the continued bellicose and aggressive action of China is not acceptable to us. It's not acceptable to us. I'm sure, Eric, you will agree with that. And therefore, we need to do something or we lose faith in the international community. So I really spoke to the officers of the Chinese embassy and I told them, kayo yung nagtulak kay President Bongbong na magpunta at humingi ng tulong sa Amerika. Kasi ang unang-una niyang statement, foreign policy statement na China is our friend, our neighbor, our partner. Diba? Gusto natin lamanan yon. At bakit yung leader ninyo, si Xi Jinping, sinasabi din niya, we're looking towards shared prosperity, shared resources, shared future. Nasa sharing yan, dinadapaan niyo yung buong South China Sea. Hello? Oh. So, siguro, hindi sa porky, nagsaside ako kay President Bongbong. Itinulak ng China si President Bongbong sa mga ginagawa niya ngayon.
Yes.
Sana ang gusto lang natin mangyari, bumaba, i-de-escalate ang tension, and I'm sure there will be back-channeling happening all around. And isa sa mga back-channeling is happening among us, the academics. We are talking to political scientists in China. We continue to talk to them as we have talked to them for many, many decades, Eric. Kasi yan yung, yan yung functional areas na tinatawag kong globe politics. And these are the ones that will matter, really. So, sana mangyari na yan. We change the mindset, which is a very, very critical factor in de-escalation. And let us do some decoupling. Decoupling means, Eric, na meron kang economic relationship and they're very robust, by the way, because I know many Filipino businessmen who have very, very robust relationships with China. Wala silang pakialam dyan sa political tensions na yan, And yung political, then let the relevant agencies deal with the political. Economic, let us continue to sell our mangoes, bananas, etc. to China, as it should be.
Tama. Maganda yung tinuran po ninyo, Mama. I agree to that point. Hindi po na hindi guilty ang China dito. Yung kanilang paghari-harian dyan sa South China Sea, yung kanilang pag-assert ng kanilang military superiority, yung kanilang pagdomina sa mga kalagayan ng tensyon dyan, hindi naman yan solo lang na dahil lang gusto nating magkaroon ng girian sa kanila. I agree to that point. On the other hand, sila din po ay dapat may pananagutan sa pag-maintain ng peaceful coexistence. In fact, Professor Carlos, ng unang bahagi po ninyo, with the administration of former President, now President Marcos Jr., binanggit po ninyo yung paggagarantiya na magkakaroon ng panibagong pagbubukas sa exploratory joint venture agreement na, sad to say, ibinasura ng Supreme Court but sinimula noon nabuksan ng China with the Philippines in the previous government of the Duterte government. Do you think at the current state that we have right now, is it still viable for us to go into a joint venture for productive engagement sa South China Sea rather than magsukatan ng tapang ang Pilipinas at China? And what would it take for the Marcos government to achieve that kind of level of pacified situation and more productive engagement towards productivity?
Yeah, exactly. That is really the trajectory that we should take. But before we can even do that, joint partnership, extraction, exploration, etc., there must be trust and confidence between and among the parties involved.
Correct.
No? Pag walang trust and confidence, naglolokohan lang tayo. And I think the key concept there, natalakay na namin ito nung NSA pa ako, is the jointness, no? Let us be smart, intelligent about it. Hindi po pwedeng, Eric, magkakamot-kamot na naman tayo ng ulo natin, sabihin na natin, natalo tayo. Katangahan na natin pag sinabi mong natalo ka. Bakit hindi ka nakipag-discuss yan at ba't hindi mo binasa yung fine print, diba? So wag na tayong kumarte-arte ng ganyan. Let's be smart, intelligent about any contract that we sign with any country for that matter, no? Para walang mga remorse, walang mga, ay, mali, no? Katakot-takot ang lawyers natin, naglipa na, diba? Why are they not looking into this fine print?
Correct.
So if there is one exploration, by the way, parang nabasa ko somewhere na si MD Pangilinan is continuing with this joint effort. Hindi nga lang nagdidyaryo siya because it's not sexy to talk about this joint undertakings, but I think it's continuing. Sabi ko nga parallel with all these political tensions are really the economic activities which continue to be robust. And I use that term robust because they really are robust.
Correct.
Kaka-visit nga lang nung how many 22 young entrepreneurs here looking for Filipino partners. Palagay mo ba maghahanap sila ng Filipino partners kung yung tension ay pinapakailaman nila? No.
Tama.
They set aside the tension. Diba?
Agree. And ma'am, speaking of your perspective, napakaganda, no? Parang ako po'y umupo ulit sa classroom lecture ng isang profesora na napakagaling maglinaw ng mga konsepto sa geopolitical dimensions. Ma'am, may nagtatanong dito sa ating mga televiewers. Ang UNCLOS daw na hindi kinikilala ng China on the aspect ng South China Sea, West Philippine Sea dispute, pwede naman daw pag-usapan kasi yung arbitral ruling pala, ma'am, hindi naman talaga categorically nag-award, kundi nagsasabi siya na kailangan mag-usap ang China at Pilipinas sapagkat hindi pumasok ang China sa voluntary arbitration. And so therefore, the role should be ang pag-uusap, ang unang-unahin, hindi po yung paggigirian at pagkiskisan. At yun na binabanggit mo, change of mindset. What would it take for President Marcos Jr. to go the extra mile, the way you are now telling the country and the people listening to you na walang mawawala kapag nakipag-usap ang isang leader sa bagay na ang patutunguhan ay kapayapaan at kaunlaran at hindi digmaan at kamatayan? Go ahead po, Professor Carlos.
What will it take? What it will take is for Xi Jinping to put bit on his shared future, shared resources, and shared prosperity. Where is the base, no? Ano ba yan? Ano lang yan? Laway lang ba yung sinasabi niya, sharing? Lagyan niya ng lagyan niya ng laman yan. No, the president is a very rational person. He's a very decent person. The way I know him when I was there at the cabinet. And I think he is really trying his darndest best to bring us to a better Philippines. So, please, we elected him with a great majority. Let us help him succeed. Hindi yung po pwedeng every 2 days gusto natin nga patalsusin siya. Ba't natin ginagawa to? Napagtawanan na nga tayo ng buong region. Why are we doing this? No? So let us support him. And sana, kung nakikinig ng mga Chinese decision makers, please, it is your move. No? There is already a memo, a MOA between the Chinese Coast Guard and the Philippine Coast Guard. Gamitin ninyo yung MOA na yan. There's a legal framework for you to continue talking, no? Because if we stop talking, I'm sure you know the alternative is unacceptable, Eric.
Correct. And we respect your opinion, ma'am, to that. Political stability must come from within. At I agree to you, ma'am, na bagamat may mga opinyon na hindi tumutugma sa pamumuna ni Pangulong Marcos Jr., you believe that the President deserves a time to prove himself in office and because of the mandate given in a popular and democratic elections. We respect that point of view na ibinabahagi po ninyo, Professor Carlos. But nonetheless, may tanong dito, mama, na pumapasok sa ating talakayan at gusto naming banggitin sa inyo ito. Do you believe that if the political bickering, which is also undeniable between the Duterte and the Marcos, kung maayos nila ito, makakatulong at makakapagpabilis ang linya ng komunikasyon at channel of diplomacy na pwedeng bumukas ang China, of course, sabi mo nga, with condition of sincerity. Hindi yung ginugood time lang tayo nila para pasakayin. Kung hindi, re-respetuhin nila tayo bilang isang bansa. The way we assert our independence also sa iba pang mga bansa kagaya din ng Estados Unidos, which should be the line of our foreign policy and foreign interaction direction. Do you think the bickerings in politics, kapag nasettle ito, makapagpapabilis po ito ng pag-de-escalate ng sinasabi ninyo and become a functional dialogue towards diplomatic resolution of the conflict in the South China Sea issue? How do you look at that, ma'am?
Yeah, absolutely. Kasi alam mo, yung previous past administration and the present administration, dapat magkapit kamay kayo, no?
Yeah.
Ako naman, sa akin, noises lang to sa ating politics, entertainment nga for some, eh. So, pero tama na yan. Kapit already, nakakayamot na kayo, no? Ganun ba? So,
tama po kayo.
Ang laki-laki ng challenges ng bansa, eh. Yung mga noises na yan, these noises really should stop, no? And yes, this will, if we hold hands together and really resolve these major challenges, bakit nasa gitna ng politika natin ito? At tayo'y nakaka-retard ng ating economic growth, no?
Tama.
What we want to do is really to eradicate poverty. Huwag natin gamitin yung word na alleviate. It's to eradicate poverty because it can be zero. It can go to zero, Derek. Huwag gamitin yung alleviate, no? And we can do that only pag magkapit kamay tayo. Corny man sabihin, it is really when we take collective undertaking that we win, no?
Yes.
At siguro an additional comment, no, as from a geopolitical perspective.
Go ahead po.
Dapat natin ding alamin na ang talagang hidwaan is between China and US.
Yes.
So, edi kayong maglabanan, hello, and gusto nyong gera, maggera kayo sa sarili nyong teritoryo at huwag nyo kaming sinasabit-sabit yan.
Yun.
Okay? So, mabuti na track mo din down, Eric, na September 2020 pala niya sinabi yun.
Opo.
And let's hold him on his word. So I said, to repeat, the President is a very decent person. He's doing his darndest best to bring us to a better Philippines.
Correct. And we like your point of view. Ang mundo ay hindi kailangan paghatian sa hegemonya at imperyo ng Amerika at China. Sapagkat yun ay dapat sa kapakinabangan ng humanity, the way you took off your argument kanina. At kaya nga nagkakaroon ng mga gyera dahil sa ganid ganid sa ekonomiya, sakim sa politika at kapangyarihan. At tama po kayo, ang primarya dito na nag-aagawa ng postura ng paghari-harian sa mundo ay hindi ang Pilipinas at mga karatig bansa, kundi ang Amerika at China, na dapat isettle nila ito without damaging the geopolitical and interregional stability ng ating rehiyon. We agree completely to that point of view ni Professor Carlos. Ma'am, may gustong magtanong din sa inyo dito. Total, nandito na po kayo. How would you react na imbis na ang kausapin ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. ay ang ASEAN, yung kanyang mga neighboring counterparts sa pagpapalagay ng estabilidad at ng linya ng diplomasya sa China, si Zelensky, na ang kanyang mental state sa digmaan ay hindi pa natatanggal, the madness for war which destroyed this country, ay sinabayan niya yung pagkauhaw ni Putin sa pananakop sa kanyang teritoryo. How do you react to this, having Zelensky in our country sa gitna ng tension sa China, na may mga looming concept of possible war? Go ahead po, Professor Carlos.
Eric, we've always been the most hospitable country in the whole world.
Of course.
So ito si Zelensky ata wanted to see President Marcos to seek his moral support for what I'm sure you know what's happening in Ukraine.
Yeah, opo.
No, ang nadinig ko dun sa, nabasa ko sa news ata kahapon yun, and failing to see Marcos in Singapore, so total, naduduroan lang naman ng Pilipinas, nagpunta na siya dito. Ang hinihingi lang naman niya is really moral support. Mukhang magkakaroon sila ng summit sa Switzerland soon, ano?
Yeah.
At humihingi siya ng mga medicines and ano. Kung ang North Korea nga, binibigyan natin mga pagkain at medicine, bakit hindi sila?
Sa bagay.
Diba?
Yeah, we agree.
So, bakit hindi sila? So, why not? No, total, parang whistle stop nga lang ang punta niya dito. Hindi nga natin nalaman, dumating tapos umalis, no?
Tama.
So, let us accept him. This is a nation at war. There are hundreds of his people already who have been killed because of the decisions of political leaders.
Tama.
And yun, let's be one in really supporting a country which has been the victim of the politics of Europe and Russia.
Yeah.
And alam mo, ang Ukraine dati talaga is, yung granary talaga siya ng grain. Ano?
Correct.
At alam mo daw, Eric, yung yung lupa dyan, ay black.
Opo,
Kasi
ma'am.
ang ganda-ganda ng, miski siguro isang anong seed ang itapon mo dyan, tutubo mag-isa.
Correct.
So, can you imagine biglang huminto yung ganyang kanilang economy because of the decisions of leaders of Europe as well as Russia na alam na natin itong mga calisthenics na to, na wag na nating pahabain at palaliman pa yan. Pero yes, he came here, he visited, the president received him and some of the government officials. And that's good. And I think the president promised to give some aid, medicine, yung ating makakaya. And that is good also.
Correct. And maganda yung sinabi ninyo, Ma'am, ha? It is cultural and traditional for the Filipinos to be always hospitable. At hindi nangangahulugan kapag tumatanggap tayo ng bisita, ay sumasang-ayon din tayo na sundin ang karanasan nila. Mabuting paghalawan ng lesson, hindi naman kailangan tayo maging bastos sa kanila. I agree to that point. Even in times of war sa Holocaust, isa po ang bansang Pilipinas, alam ko po, ma'am, na mas alam ninyo ito sa kasaysayan, na tumanggap ng mga na pe-persecute at pinagpapatay ng mga Hudyo na mga kababayan nila, at dito sa Pilipinas ay sila po kinalinga sa panahon ni President Manuel Quezon. Tama po kayo, at dapat tayo makipagkaisa doon sa mga nabibiktima na mga mamamayan ng Ukraine at ng Russia na rin sa kabaliwan sa digmaan ng mga leaders ng mga bansang ito. Ma'am, my final question to you. Gaano ka-importante po itong pagtingin na dapat mailinaw? Is President Marcos Jr. becoming a US puppet because doon siya napupunta? So ayon sa kanya mga kritiko, pabalik-balik siya 4 or 5 times na siya? Or is it just part of rebuilding yung trust and confidence without necessarily surrendering our sovereignty and independence, including po ang ating mga foreign relations sa ating rehiyon? How do you look at this kind of interaction of the Marcos government right now with the US government presently?
The geopolitical environment really is producing the kind of, how would you call it, alignment that we're having and being closer to the United States of America. But I'm sure conditions will be different. And masama sa lasa ko yung salitang puppet, no? Sana wag natin gamitin yan dahil hindi naman siya patungkol talaga sa kanya.
Yes.
Kasi as a political scientist, I'd like to see President Marcos as responding to many forces, external and domestic forces around him. And he is making the best decisions ever at a particular point in our political life.
Yeah.
So, bigyan natin siya ng alagwa. I'm no longer NSA. I'm no longer part of the Intel loop. I'm no longer privy to many things which I had been privy to before. But I'd like to give the President the continuing vote of confidence that I had given him before. And all of us, I think, we elected him for God's sake. Let us help him succeed until he is changed in 2028. Hindi yung sasabi ko nga every konti lang niyang pagkakamali, gusto niya na naman siyang i-out. Ano ba tayo? Banana Republic ba tayo, Eric? Hello? Diba?
Yeah, tama, ma'am.
At
yan ang nangyari ngayon, ma'am, sa sa Bangladesh. Kita mo, ma'am, na walang estabilidad at halos walang tigil ang civil war, yung patayan sa mga lugar na ito, sa Rwanda at sa mga bansang ang naglalabanan ay ang mga internal political rivals and forces at hindi nakakaangat ang kanyang ekonomiya. And we respect your point of view, ma'am, sa sinasabi ninyo. With all the defects ng isang Pangulo, which hindi lang naman yan sa kanya, there is still the innate goodness of his love for his people. And I believe, sabi mo, he doesn't deserve to be called a puppet. And rest assured, ma'am, ang Pilipinas nating mahal ay hindi pa naman po siya tinatawag na puppet. Although we accommodate different and various views, including po ang inyong scholarly analysis. Ma'am, last part na ito kayo because alam namin, ma'am, mayroon po kayong iba pang appointment. Ang mahalaga po, Professor Carlos, ay kahit hindi man tayo nakita ng personal ngayon, nakakausap ka namin. And the lines of interaction for scholarly discourse has been restored, I think, with this kind of interview that we have right now. Ma'am, what would be your unsolicited advice to the government, hindi lang kay Pangulong Marcos Jr., maganda yung take-off mo when politicians stop to listen to the real scientists, social scientists, political scientists, and sociologists, ay nawawala po ang dimension ng pagiging patas at balanse ng pamumuno at napupunta sa traditional na pamumulitika rather than correct direction of leadership. What advice would you like to give to the country right now in your private capacity as a scholar of history and as a student of geopolitical situation of the world na inaaral nyo parati? Go ahead po, Professor Carlos.
Yeah, siguro, Eric, let me echo one of the last memos I gave to the President before I resigned. And that memo really was recommending as National Security Advisor to move towards multi-alignment. Let us join the BRICS, let us join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, let us join as many organizations so that this will lead towards greater economic growth for us, greater exports and the like, which will eventually lead to better quality of life for all 110 Filipinos, no? So I'm reiterating that, and I'm sure nakikita friend tayo sa Facebook, nakikita mo yung mga posting ko. This really multi-alignment is the only name of the game, because we don't want a unipolar, we don't want a bipolar, we don't want any hegemon, because each one of us should be autonomous autonomous republic. Each one of us will track our own future without any intrusion or intervention by any external force. I think that should be my last guidance to our president, and I think the president has heard me because I am now the policy advisor on security of Speaker Martin Romualdez. And now, where before I used to send my memos to the president, now I send my memos on foreign policy and security to Speaker Martin.
Yeah, well said, Professor Carlos. Very balanced and very well directed to the benefit of the country and the people, yung mga opinion na inilalahad ninyo at na pinapasalamatan namin yan. Ma'am, may pahabol, last na talaga ito, ma'am, na pagtatanong po sa inyo. Do you believe that the former President Rodrigo Duterte surrendered and ibinenta ang ating soberanya at ang ating pang-teritoryong integridad doon sa pananatili ng tinatawag na status quo at peaceful coexistence with China in as far as the South China Sea dispute is concerned? Or do you believe it could have been enhanced kung hindi lang po ito namadol ng mga personal political bickerings sa pagitan ng dalawang political factions sa ating bansa ngayon? Professor Carlos, ma'am? Oh, mukhang nawala na si Professor Carlos sa ating line. But nonetheless, we're okay. Naputol na yata ang travel But masaya tayo, mga kababayan. Nakita nyo naman dito sa Pilipinas nating mahal. Yung mga opinion ng ating mga guests, ay atin pong nirerespeto yan at kinukuha po natin ang mga balansing pananaw dito. So far, hindi pa naman po nananawagan ang Pilipinas nating mahal na ang gobyernong Marcos ay puppet. Nagpupuna tayo, pumupuna tayo, pero hindi po tayo nagkukonclude. Ang maganda po ay naipaliwanag ni Professor Carlos yung tatlong mahalagang bagay. Number one, we should focus on economy. We should focus on joint venture, partnership, multilateral, bilateral undertakings na pag-uusapan ang mga ikabubuti na pwedeng makuha ng lahat ng bansa, including sa pagitan ng China at Pilipinas. Sa South China Sea, hindi yung digmaan ang postura at hindi pagsusukatan ng tapang-tapangan. Number 2, binanggit niya, kailangan pakinggan natin ang opinion ng mga marine scientists, biological scientists na may know-how sa posibleng mga kayamanan na pwedeng ipaghatian at i-share ng mga bansa. And dahil dyan, maganda ang tinuran niya na dapat magbukas ang diplomasya. Hindi po puro politikang away at mga positioning para sa military na mga pagpoposisyon. At ang panguli po na binanggit niya ay walang mawawala po kapag ang ating bansa ay makipag-ugnayan sa iba't ibang organisasyon at sa iba't ibang mga alliances for the benefit and betterment of the national and security interest ng ating bansa.